Today's build, we are juicing up our melee as high as possible while having survivability in the build, allowing us to wreck bosses and clear enemy rooms as quick as possible. I used it in -50 and -40, and the build shined beautifully. So, what up, guys? Alchemist here. I guess so. The nice for you. So today we are utilizing the exotic Winter's Guile. After having fun with the new Warlock melee yesterday, Soul Siphon, I was like, wow, Soul Siphon make it so easy to spam your melee as much as possible. So I was like, let's try to make a build with this where we can just mutilate the enemies in the room as quickly as possible with this melee by itself. So we landed on Winter Guile. What Winter Guile do is exotic perk is Warlord Sigil, which basically say melee and finisher final blows increase melee damage. With maximum stacks, you gain vastly increased melee regeneration speed for a short time. Okay, so this stats go up to 10. Okay, when you're at 10 stacks, the exotic buff your melee up by 300%. And then you have the option to press your melee button again to activate the perk, giving you 400% increased melee damage for 10 seconds. And you get to go crazy while spamming your melee, allowing us to just use Soul Siphon as much as possible, right? Now, if you're someone that's like, but Alchemist, it's so hard to get max stacks. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you don't need max stacks with this melee build. I think the real beauty of this exotic that a lot of people miss when it comes to ease of use with this build is finisher moves. If you try to confirm a kill in like team, team environment and stuff, just get a finisher move off. And boom, you already get 3 stacks of Warlord Sigil. And then it make all your melee attacks one-shot people with ease, allowing you to get your stacks up very quick. So make sure you keep that in mind in your gameplay loop when you're in like team environments. By yourself, you can take your time. But in team environments, take advantage of finisher move. Because once you get one finisher move off, every melee attack you use is going to one-shot majority enemies, allowing you to easily get your melee stacks to 10 in team environments. No one's going to be able to take your kill at that point, okay? So, the stats you want to run for this build is 200 melee. Obviously, I got 178. I'm running a melee font in my arm piece. You want to try to run, close to 100 grenade and class stat so that you can have more ability uptime with your other abilities to help you get your melee back quicker. Other than that, that's all you care about in this build. 200 melee and then close to 100 grenade and class stat as possible. The armor I got on is Exodus down. Just add more survivability in this build because you will be getting close and personal meleeing people all day. So this just adds on to that survivability, even though you are going to be getting the Void Overshield whenever you use your melee in this build. The artifact we're running in this build is Tablet of Ruin again. This time we're not running any of the strand stuff, but you can if you want to. You can run the rocket launcher if you're running a regular rocket launcher. I was using Apex Predator earlier, so I had no type of strand debuff in this build, but you can farm for a Cynosure rocket launcher, anti-barrier as well, and it does run with slice. So if you do get this rocket launcher with slice, then by all means you can run 2 shreds in this build, and then you just run the usual stuff that everybody run on Tablet of Ruin, which is 2 shreds, defibrillating blast, Horror Shuttle. We got Maligned Harvest in this build because whenever we apply, we can get a Void Overshield. This allows our little void pet, Void Soul, to give us Void Overshields and HP at the exact same time. We got Flashover on to get amplified in this build. Volatile Marksman so that our Void detonations that we do with our melee give us some class ability energy. And then we got Elemental Siphon, so we made Void Breaches to pick up for more class energy as well in this build. And gives Devour in this build. Okay? If you don't want to have that on, then by all means, you can run like Dielectric in this build, even Unraveling, or if you want your rocket launcher to do Unraveling, but Dielectric, because then you could throw on like an arc special weapon if you want that does like Jordan feedback or something like that, or a Rolling Storm, something like that, and you'll start doing some arc debuffs in the build, getting you amplified in the build as well. Okay, which means bolt charge triggers to do even more damage. Okay, the weapon we're using in our build is Monte Carlo. This is the only thing that's important in your build. Everything else is up to you what you want to run. Monte Carlo is important in this build because as you deal damage with this weapon, you get melee energy. Okay, which allows your combo loop of just spam your melees non-stop very seamless. Okay, if we spawn these Vex right here, right? And we spawn these Vex right here, and I use my melee, right? You technically got 4 melees in this build. I missed that one on purpose, okay? I can turn the knife on Monte Carlo and stab this person, and I can keep doing that and keep getting melee energy from that. And it gets not only stacks of Warlord Sigil, but it does more damage from Warlord Sigil. I see we are climbing up to, you know, high damage, over 2,000 damage with that. And then I got my melees back again, and I start spamming again. So your combo will never be out of, you know, out of the loop. But then also too, after this thing is done with, right, with Warlord Ruin, right, I can always shoot with this gun. You see the melee just going up, okay, and then just shoot again, okay. And then it also has the chance of you kill an enemy with the auto rifle, you immediately get a full melee charge immediately. So this helps you keep your melee up 24/7 to abuse your melee. And again, we have other things in this build to keep your melee going as well. So like sometimes you won't even need to shoot with Monte Carlo. You'll just be getting your melee back in general, okay? Subclass. We're rocking Cataclysm for no bomb because it's the highest DPS one. We're rocking Empowerment Rift for the higher uptime for our abilities while we stand inside of it, and to make our melee, our weapons do 20% more damage. So helping Monte Carlo get the kills to get the guaranteed melee recharge immediately, keep the combo going. Pocket Singularity give you 2 melees, so that's why it's just great, you know, in Void for this build. And the Volatile gives class bit energy from the artifact for more Rift to get more uptime in our melee even more. Vortex Grenade, because the fragment we're using, when we do grenade damage, we get melee energy back. Child of the God, this is allow us to suppress the enemies so that they, you know, can stay still and we can just melee them for free without worrying about them, because we are getting close and personal with this build. And it also weakens, so we get a Void Overshield from just weakening enemies with Child of the God. And because we got a Power Rift on, Child of God's also siphoning HP for us, 25 HP per second, while it's out there doing tick damage on enemies. So just really good all overall. And then again, it weaken enemies, so we do even more damage to them with our melee, okay? And then we have Soul Siphon on, because it basically give us 2 extra melee. Every time we do melee damage, we get another Soul Siphon to do more damage to an area, you know, area group of enemies. But what I love about Soul Siphon as well is it gives a Void Overshield as we're doing the Soul Siphon animation on enemies, so including bosses. So you're never really taking damage while using this melee. You always save, because if anybody damaging you while doing this melee, they're only damaging your Void Overshield. And since you're sucking them off, pulse, while you're doing the melee, you get the Void Overshield back while they're damaging you. So it's just the safest melee. And this melee does a lot of damage. If you do Soul Siphon with max stacks of freaking Warlord Ruin, you're doing 5,000 damage, 5,300 damage. That's insane for just one melee. One melee. So just a very strong melee to use with Winter Guiles. Fragments we're using, Echo Undermining, so we throw our grenade, it does weaken as well. So Void Overshield whenever we want it. We have Remnants on to make the Vortex Grenade style longer, so we do more tick damage for the melee energy with the fragment we're using. We have Echo Starvation. Whenever we pick up Aura Power, we get 70 HP, or Void Brief, we get 70 HP. But not only that, it gives Devour, so then we can start killing people to get to 70 HP as well. We have on Echo Domineering, because we will be suppress people with the Child of the God, and then if we kill them while it's in this suppressed animation, we will make a Void Breach for ourselves. We have on Echo Provision, this making that damaging targets with a grenade gives melee energy. This is why we're using the Vortex Grenade, stay out there longer. We get grenade back, our melee back as quick as possible with the Vortex Grenade doing its tick damage. And then we have Echo Exchange on, where melee final blow gives grenade energy, so we can use the grenade again to get melee energy back as well. Like I said, you're not forced to shoot Monte Carlo 24/7. Monte Carlo is like the safety net to keep the consistency going in this build. If there's any like fragment I say is like a flex fragment, I would say Domineering. I love that Domineering reloads our weapon as well whenever I do put out Child of the God, so that the rocket launch can shoot again. But you can take this off and put on a different fragment if you want to, personally. Like the one that says, you know, killing a weakened enemy makes the orb power and Void Breach as well. You can go that route if you want to, but I prefer the suppression. Give me that plus 30 weapon stat as well, so our weapon stat is at 95 instead. We have mods, Super Font, for plus 20 to super because I just had nothing else. This is a flex mod. We have on Kinetic Siphon. We shoot on Monte Carlo or the power. We have on Hands On so that every melee kit we get gives super energy. We have on Momental Transfer, so when I deal damage to grenade, I get melee energy. We have on Melee Font, so we can get close to 200 melee for that extra 30% melee damage. And then we got Heavy Handed on, so when I do get a melee kill, we make or power out there, right? We have on our Resist Mods and our chest piece based on whatever activity you in. Again, I did use this in Light Blade and it worked beautifully. I cleaned that first room up very quick. So this is the resist mods I had on at that moment. Kinetic Surge is my leg piece for Monte Carlo do more damage, and then I got Invigoration on, so I pick up Aura Power, I get melee energy. And then I have Outreach on, if I pop my Rift out, I get melee energy. Special Finisher is to proc Exodus down whenever I got 3 armor charges on me. And then I got Reaper on, so whenever I do pop a Rift out, then kill somebody, make an Aura Power, okay? And then I'm rocking Era Denials to make even more orbs for myself with Attrition Orbs, okay? That's the full build. If you want to change artifacts, the other artifact I would recommend is less survivability, but you do get more damage with your melee, and that would be Hunter's Journal. Hunter's Journal comes with Expanding Abyss, so void damage do more damage to weakened targets. You weaken the people with the Void Soul. You use your melee, so then boom, you're doing 20% more damage to your melee just from having this on. Then we got Shield Crush on. We got a Void Overshield on. You do 25% more damage as well with your melees. And then we have on Targeting Autoloader, just making that Monte Carlo do even more damage and don't have to worry about reloading it. We got Void Hegemony on, just making that you get a Void Overshield when you kill weakened enemies. That's why I like Tablet of Ruin, because I just gotta weaken them and get the Void Overshield. I don't have to kill them. So that's the reason why I'm on Tablet of Ruin instead of this one, just for more survivability. But this one is the melee one, okay, if you want to do more melee damage. Counter Energy on for the uptime on melee energy, because we stun the champions and whatnot. And then we have on Sustain Fire, so that we can get a 25% damage reduction from shooting the Monte Carlo, sustain damage on somebody. And then Elemental Siphon to get a Void Breach's Spine from just killing anybody randomly, okay? So that's the melee focused artifact if you want to do even more melee damage. The footage you're seeing was with Tablet of Ruin, so yes, it can do even more damage than that. Anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up.